Welcome to another evening of fantastic storytelling by the absolutely stunningly gorgeous Duke Dread, that is myself. Tonight I tell you the story of The Open Grave, a popular tale from where I grew up. Now, in fact, there are many versions of this story, several of which even in my hometown. However, this is my preferred version, and that is why I'm telling it to you. Tonight, we hear the story of The Open Grave. It is common practice in rural communities to have a wake in which loved ones and friends would sit with a body overnight. Now, this serves several purposes. Folks could say their goodbyes. This prevented wild animals from coming in and trying to take the bodies, an all too common occurrence, sadly. And this also allowed the grave diggers to dig the grave the day before. Now, it had just so happened a man had died. And during his wake, a man was walking home, incredibly drunk. He did not know his rights from his lefts, nor did he know his ups from his downs, but for whatever reason, he was able to waddle along drunkenly along the road. Now, he passed by the graveyard, in which the man whose wake he just left was going to be buried. And the drunk said, "You know, I need to take a shortcut. I don't want to get lost in the woods. I should take a shortcut. Yeah, I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm going to go to the graveyard." So he crawls over the little fence around the graveyard to keep the cougars out and waddles his way through the graveyard. Now, as he approaches the man's grave, he hears a strange noise. He startles and looks around, trying to figure out what's going on. And then he gets a little closer to the man's grave and he hears, and he sees a white shape spring from the grave. And he's like, okay. Maybe I had a little too much moonshine. Maybe I'm a little tipsy. But I'm just seeing things, just ignore it. And so, you know what? I'm not afraid of anything. I'm going to walk up right to that grave and look it in the eye and spit in it. So he waddles up to the grave, and all of a sudden out of the grave, the white shape leaps at him and goes, "Ah!" And he runs as fast as he can, instantly sober, over the hills, over the mountains, until he finally gets back to his own cabin, where he goes immediately to sleep after barricading the door. Now, the next morning, before the funeral of the man whose wake was held last night, the grave diggers go out to make sure that nothing fell in the grave. And lo and behold, at the bottom of a grave is a big fat goose. A goose who is so fat it has difficulty lifting itself out of the grave by flying. And they thought this was awfully funny, and nothing was ever said of it. And the drunk, well, he stayed sober for the rest of his life. The end. Thank you for joining us for that dramatic reading with the beautiful, fabulous, wonderful Duke Dread. That's me. And I hope you really enjoyed that story. And if you did, please click like and subscribe and turn on those notifications, because every week I'm going to try to read 2 spooky, terrifying, weird, bizarre, gruesome, old stories aloud. And I hope you don't miss them. Bye.